This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So in the last sessions, we were discussing about what is a Power BI and what are the different components in Power BI, what are the different components in Power BI, and what is the life cycle of the Power BI. Give me a second, I will open the. So there are four different components inside the Power BI. One is Power BI Desktop, Power BI Online Service, Power BI Report Server, Power BI Mobile App. So total four different kind of components available. And also we have discussed about the life cycle of the Power BI. When we are starting a Power BI project, what are the four steps we are going to perform? One is a data discovery, and the second one is data modeling, and the data visualization, and data sharing. These are the four pages we are performing. So as a part of the data discovery, what we are trying to do over here is we are trying to understand the business and identifying the data source, creating a connection to the data source, and importing the data from Power BI, the data from data source to Power BI. And also we are going to perform some ETL activity. So to perform all these things, I'm going to demonstrate. The first thing is your data source. My data source is a SQL server. Inside the SQL server, I have a database, AdventureWorks DW 2017. I'm going to connect to the SQL Server database from Power BI, and I want to take some list of the tables and the data into Power BI. So simply open the Power BI desktop app. Power BI desktop app is a Windows application to develop the Power BI reports. Once you are developing the Power BI reports inside the Power BI desktop, we will publish those reports into Power BI cloud environment. So what I'm going to demonstrate under the data discovery part, what is how to connect a Power BI to data source and importing the data into Power BI, and how to perform the ETL over here. So ETL stands for extracting the data and applying some transformation techniques. After applying the transformation techniques, finally you need to load the data into Power BI desktop. Okay, that is called data discovery part. But in between this extraction and loading, there is a step transformation. The transformation step what we are performing over here, there are many transformations available. Okay, there are many transformations are available. So how to learn all those transformations, we will understand. So first you need to connect to your data source. Your data source, how to connect? There is a get data option. So under the get data option, simply you are going to select get data. What is your data source you want to connect? I want to connect to the SQL server. Okay, so if you want to connect to the SQL server data source from this Power BI, you have to provide the server name. What is your server name and what is the database name? Okay, so your SQL server name, where you can find inside the SQL Server Management Studio. So we have already installed SQL Server on our local machine, and also we have a database added. We just review the previous videos, how to install the SQL Server, how to attach a database to SQL Server. The server name already I saved it over here. So I will find out where your SQL Server name. Yeah, this is my server name. So my server name is saved already over here. Or you can go to SQL Server Management Studio. Here you can take your server name, whatever the server name. There are different servers I have installed. So let's say, for example, if I'm going to e-classes batch 123, under this instance, I attach a database that is called AdventureWorks DW 2017. So that database I'm going to connect from the Power BI. See, there is a database. This database contains many number of tables. So take the server name. So copy the server name and keep over here. And database name is an optional. If you are giving database name, it will populate only the list of tables under this particular database. If you are not giving the database name, all the list of databases on your server will be displayed over here. See, this AdventureWorks DW 2017, Department DB, EMPD, DEPT, Employee DB. There are 4 things we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Okay. So what are the 2 different kind of connectivity modes we have? We already discussed in detail about these 2 modes in 2 sessions. Import mode means whatever the data in your server will be completely copied into your Power BI. It's a copy paste. Direct query mode means it will take the live data. It is not copying and storing something like that. It is always taking the live data whenever your Power BI is expecting this data over here. So what are the advantages of the direct query mode and import mode we have discussed already. Now what I want to do, I'm going to select the import connectivity mode to copy all the files and data over here. So then click OK. Select this AdventureWorks DW 2017. And what are all the list of tables you are expecting to design the reports? I need a customer information. Take the dim customer. I need all the years and dates information. Select the dim date table and products information, category information, subcategory information, and geography information, and factory to net sales information. Okay, so these are all the tables we have. Then I told, right, we are going to perform ETL in the data discovery. ETL in the stands for extracting the data, applying the transformations, and finally loading the data. So as a part of the extraction, we are connecting to the data source and selecting the list of the tables whatever you want. This is called extraction. This is called extraction. So what is the meaning of transformation? The meaning of transformation means we are trying to do some modifications on the data what we are extracting. For example, see, I selected the dim customer table. In the dim customer table, I have so many columns. I want to remove whatever the columns I don't require. I don't require this column. I don't require this column or something like that. Only few columns I'm expecting from the new customer. I don't want to input all this data. Okay. Also what I want to do, the gender of the each employee customer, it is coming like M, F, M, M. I want to make this M as a male, F as a female. So these kind of business logics, so many are available. I'm just giving two examples. One is removing unnecessarily all the whatever the columns we don't require, and the second thing is changing the gender behavior. Is it a male, M for male, F for female, all those things. Okay, all right. So these kind of transformations, if you want to apply, just click on the transform the data. Click on transform the data. Or without applying any kind of transformations, if you want to directly load the data, you can load the data. Okay, so either ways you can perform. So first I want to apply some kind of transformations. Click on apply transform. When you click on apply transform, there is a new window will open to modify or to apply the transformation techniques. So this is called Power Query Editor. What do you mean by Power Query Editor? Power Query Editor in the sense you are trying to extract the tables and the data. Your Power BI will create each table as one query in the backend. Your Power Query will create each table as one query in the backend. Clear? See here in this Power Query Editor, let's say for example, if I am closing this Power Query Editor by close and apply, if I want to reopen this window, you have to go to edit queries in your Power BI desktop. The edit queries option, when you are clicking, that will open Power Query Editor. Okay, I don't want to apply any transformations. Okay, I don't want to apply any transformations. Then just close and apply. Once you are close and apply, the last page, loading page will be done. See, it will load all the tables and the data over here. It is importing all the tables. It's loading. We have extracted the data, but we haven't applied any transformations. Finally, we are loading the data. The data, whatever you have loaded, if you want to see, you can go to the data pan over here. Click on the data. See, this is the data and all the tables you can see, all the list of fields you can see. So what I want to do, I don't want to load the data for a few of the columns. Means I want to remove from this table some of the columns like a French occupation, French education, and a house phone flag. These kind of columns I don't want to use in my reporting. Unnecessarily, those are occupying the memory as well. So how can you do that one? So this is a first pan is a report pan, second pan is a data pan, third pan is a data modeling pan. Data modeling is a second phase we are going to do. First phase is data discovery. So in the data discovery, if you want to see the data, you can see this one under the data pan. And the second phase is data modeling. Data modeling, we can do the relationships between the tables over here. Relationships between the tables over here. And the third phase, designing of the visualizations, you can see in the report pan. Designing of the reports, you can see in the report pan over here. All right. Okay. So I want to reopen the transformation page. Total, how many tables you have imported? I have imported 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tables I have imported. When you are importing 7 tables from your data source, it will create 7 queries. Each table it will prepare one query. If you want to see those queries, simply you can go to the edit queries. When you are clicking on the edit queries, a Power Query editor will be opened over here. A Power Query editor will be opened over here. Alright? Okay. So inside this Power Query editor, you can see I'm going to divide this into 4 parts. Top ribbon. This is the top ribbon pan. This is the query span, and this is the query setting span. This is data pan. Okay, 4 different pans we have. Top ribbon pan. This is one. The second one is a query span. Whatever the tables you have imported, that queries you can see. Each table you can see. And the third one is a query setting span. Means whatever the query you have, the properties related to that query you can see over here. And this is data pan. For each query, whatever the data it is bringing, you can see over here as well. And in the top ribbon pan, again you have home, transform, add column, view, help. So these many options we have. So we will discuss about individually each and every option inside over here. Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do here, out of these 7 queries, I want to organize these queries into different folders. Instead of making all the queries in a single folder, I want to group up the all dimensional tables into one folder, fact tables into another folder. So how can we do that one? Simply you can right click on any of one query and you can move to a group. We don't have any group created. Simply click on the new group over here. Okay, so the group name I'm going to give it as a dimensions. Click OK, and you can click on the at a time you can select dim date, dim product, and dim product category, dim product subcategory, dim geography. Right click, move to a group, dimensions. So I'm moving all the 6 tables into under dimensions folder. I will create one more, that is a fact table. So right click on that fact query, click on new group. I will make it as a fact measures. What is a dimension table and what is a fact table? Dimension tables are something like your customer information, products information, that information you can see. Fact tables contains how much quantity you purchased, when did you purchase, these kind of information you have. Okay, so total 7 queries I have. 6 dimension table queries, one is a fact queries. Do you want to see what is the query it has prepared in the background? For example, for the bill customer, I haven't written any query. Am I right? I'm just selecting the table and applying, loading the data, ETL. I didn't write any place, anywhere a single query. But Power BI itself, okay, but Power BI itself, in the background, it has written the query over here. Power BI itself, in the background, it has written the query. Do you want to see that query? In the home button, you can see there is a advanced editor. Click on advanced editor. See, it has written a query. What is this language here? It is a M language. It is a M language. Mashup language. Power Query editor will write this language itself when you are doing any kind of transformation activities. The M language, the mashup language, can be written by your Power Query editor when you are applying a transformation techniques on these queries. So you can able to understand very easily this query. So can we understand here? Source SQL.database is this is my server name, my SQL server name, and from which database you are trying to take the data. This is my database, and what is the schema? DBO schema, and from which table you are going to take the data? DIM customer table. Okay, then click done. So that is the M language query for DIM customer. Again, you can go and see the DIM date. Again, click on the advanced editor. So this time the table name is DIM date, and the database name is AdventureWorks DW 2017. This is the server name. This is the server name. Okay. So DIM geography. This is the another query. So this is how in the back end every query it has written by M language inside the Power Query editor. So if you want to do any modifications to these queries, for example, I want to take only few columns. See here in the DIM geography table, we have selected the entire table data, entire table. But I want to select only few columns. But I want to select only few columns. How to select the few number of columns, or you can remove while it is going to importing for all the columns from your data source. Do you know M language? If you know the M language, you can directly write down here. One more step. Just put comma, comma, write down the M language script, whatever you want. But unfortunately, I don't know M language. You don't need to write down any M language, and you don't need to learn any M language here. That's what Power BI is an automated tool. You can do the activities by drag and drop, then automatically in the background your Power BI will write the M language. Okay. Done. So what do you want to do? On this DIM customer query, I want to remove some of the columns. What are the columns you want to remove over here? The columns I want to remove is French education, Spanish education, this column, and this column, and this column, and this one, and house owner flag as well. Also, but those columns are enough. Okay, those columns I have to remove from this query. So under the home, there is an option, remove columns option. So click over here, remove the columns, whatever you selected. So once you are clicking on this remove columns option, what you can observe in this DIM customer under the query settings, in the DIM customer, whatever the action you are performing, that will be recorded over here. Step by step, whatever the actions you are doing over here, each step will be recorded over here. So how to do this one? Simply you can go to remove columns, click over here. Done. See, there is a new step is recorded over here. removed columns. Earlier is this one, currently removed columns. You can go to the advanced editor and check the query what you have prepared. Wow, it has added a new step over here. Removed columns. The syntax for the M language is this one, table dot remove columns. These are the columns we have removed over here. Okay, so this is how we have removed this one. The final output for this removed columns is finally in this M language, whatever the result is assigned last time, that will come over here. Okay, I remove these columns, then close and apply. Once you are close and apply, this query, this table, the dim customer table will miss the columns whatever we have removed. It will not find that columns are the data inside of it. Okay. Now what I want to do, I will go back to again edit queries. Before that, I will check whether the columns are removed from the dim customer or not while it is loading the data. Once you are applying transformations and close and apply, the data, fresh data will be loaded. Click on the dim customer. See in this table, those columns are missing. French, education, all those are missing over here. So that data is not loaded. Okay, so I will go back again to the edit queries. The queries are nothing but bringing the data from your data source. Then whatever the steps you are applying over here, those steps will be executed before the actual data is going to load into your Power BI. Okay, there is a data source, and in between this Power Query editor contains the queries bringing the data from your data source that will be loaded into your Power BI desktop. I will demonstrate you in a pictorial representation. This is the scenario. I have a data source. My data source is SQL Server. Inside this, I have a database. Inside the SQL Server, I have a database. The database is AdventureWorks TW 2017. AdventureWorks TW 2017, and there are list of tables available. Dim customer, dim product, dim category, dim subcategory, all those tables we have. So what we are trying to do, this is my Power BI desktop. Inside this Power BI desktop, there is a edit query builder. So what the edit query builder stands for? Three things we are doing: extraction, transformation, and loading. The first one is extract. Extract means by connecting to the data source, we are selecting all the list of the tables. Then the next step is applying some transformations. Applying some transformation techniques. And then finally loading the data. Finally loading the data. So this whole process we are doing under the Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor. So once the data is loaded, all the list of the tables will be coming over here. All the list of the tables. Okay. So that's what you can see over here. This is a Power Query Editor. Once close and apply, all the list of the tables, data you can see under the data model. Under this data model. See, you can make the relationships. This is second page we will discuss. Then after, in this report designer window, here we are going to design the reports over here. That we are doing under here, designing of the visualizations. Once the report design is completed, we are going to publish that report into a website www.app.powerbi. This is the whole process we are going to do. In the first phase, we are going to discuss about the data discovery. As a part of data discovery, up to this part we are going to do. Connecting to the data source and performing this ETL, mainly transformations, that is phase 1, data discovery. Phase 2 is making the relationships and modeling. Phase 3 is designing the visualization. Phase 4 is sharing of the reports into www.app.powerbi. So this is what we are trying to do inside the Power BI desktop. So as a part of this one, currently we are in the extraction and transformation phase. Whatever the data we are extracted, it has created the backend queries. So those queries, we are going to apply some transformation techniques inside the Power Query Editor. All right. So that Power Query Editor is the option available inside your Power BI desktop. On the top, you can see there is a Power Query Editor option over here. That is nothing but this one. Whenever you are opening that Edit Query Builder, that will open a new window, that is Power Query Editor window. Any questions? Is it clear? Okay, so I will focus from now onwards only on this transformation page. The transformation page is nothing but inside your Power Query Editor. Inside this Power Query Editor, we are going to make the transformations. So the one transformation we just now we have applied, that is removing of unnecessary columns. See here. Okay, whatever the transformations I have applied, I just want to roll back them. I just want to roll back that step. How to roll back a step? How to roll back a transformation, whatever you have applied? There are two ways you can do. One is, see, under the applied steps of this dim customer query, what is the step recently you have applied? Removed columns. You just close this step, whatever the columns you have removed will come back. See, Spanish education, French education. Also, you can check your query in the advanced editor. Go to the advanced editor, the step is removed. Earlier you have a step, removed columns equal to something like that. That also will be deleted. That is the one method. The other method is, if you are good in the French, if you are good in the M language, then you can able to directly edit your code. how to edit your query. So for example, I will do the transformation again, removing these two columns. Okay, removing these two columns. Select these two columns, remove columns. So a new step is added over here. And also you can check in your advanced editor query. I want to roll back the step whatever I did. So simply remove this step up to this comma. Remove this step. Done. And whatever the final output will be, the data last step is assigned into which variable? DBO dot customer. Just simply put that. Done. Okay. Then once you are click done, that step whatever you have removed column step also will be removed from here. See, it has removed. And those two columns whatever you deleted or removed will come back over here. Spanish education or English education or whatever. So this is of the steps what you performed. If you want to roll back, you can roll back the steps. So your query will be saving all the transformations what you are applying. So for example, you are trying to remove the selected columns. Apart from this Spanish education, I want to keep only the English education. Rest of all columns I want to remove. In that kind of situation, simply select the column whatever you want to keep and remove other columns. See, it is keeping only that column. It is removing all the columns. All these transformations are very easy like this. If you are practicing one time, then you are able to understand easily. You should practice. Okay. So if you want to roll back the step, whatever you want to do, you can. But without applying rollback, I want to close and apply. Close and apply means it's a loading of the data. The last page what you are trying to do. Okay, that. So in the transformation phase, you remove the columns. Then close and apply means it's loading the data. Whatever the query you modified, only that query will be executed and getting the fresh data. Rest queries will not be executed. And you can check in the dim customer table how many columns you have. Only one column. And you can check the data also. Only one column under the dim customer. Okay. All right. So the next thing what we are going to discuss is, so I'm just designing a report over here. For example, I want to display total sales amount. Sales amount is coming from a table factory sales. Just drag and drop on this visualization. It will display the what is the total sales. What is the total sales amount? 29.36 million. So the sales amount whatever we have currently displaying in Power BI, it is copied at 10 a.m. I extracted the data at 10 a.m. After 10 a.m., there are some changes in the sales information. But now I need the updated data, whatever I have in my data source system. How to recopy, how to re-import the data for all your tables from your data source. How can you do that? So re-import means currently whatever the visualization it is displaying 29 million, there are some more data added in your data source, but you already copied it morning 10 a.m. over here. I need fresh data. Means again you are trying to re-import the data from your data source to Power BI. It will again re-copy the data, fresh data, whatever it is. To re-executing all the queries and performing this ETL, then you need to click on the refresh option. On the top you can see there is a refresh option. Get the latest data by refreshing all the tables in the report. Click on refresh. it is going to refresh all the queries. Okay, so data is refreshed and fresh data is coming to your tables. So how many number of times you want to, whenever you are feeling okay, there is some changes happen in my data source system, I need a fresh data. If you want to execute all your queries and getting the fresh data, you can click on the refresh option over here. Whenever you are refreshing, all your queries will be executed and bringing the data from your data source. That is called refresh. Means re-importing the data by executing your queries from your data source. Clear? Any questions so far? See, when you are again clicking refresh, all the queries are executing and re-importing the data. See, 18482. There is no change. That is the reason every data it is importing. So whenever it is importing the data, what will happen for the old data? Can anyone answer? If I'm going to re-import the data from my data source, already I have some data in my Power BI. Again, when you are going to copy, what will happen for the old data? Is it going to add this again the same data into the older data, or what will happen? Tell me the answers.
The older data will get deleted and fresh data will get copied out from.
Exactly. So every time when it is going to upload the data or reporting the data, the older data it will be deleted and fresh data will be loaded. Whole data, whatever you have in your data source. Any questions on today's session?
If we want to delete any particular row or column, then how?
Okay, so we have further transformations. Simply go to edit queries, click on edit queries, and there you have another option, keep rows, remove rows. There are different options that we will discuss in next session. Removing the rows. These are the removing columns and this is removing rows. Rows means this data. Columns means this entire column will be deleted, removed.
Okay, thank you.
Ram, actually, once when we load the data for the first time and we made some transformations queries in the table and we prepared the reports. Then again, when we upload the fresh data from the data source, does it get impact again if for the graphs as well?
Definitely, whenever you are re-uploading and re-importing, whatever the transformations you saved, all the transformations will be executed and that data only will be loaded into your model. Whatever the transformations, you remove 2 columns, right? That transformation will be executed every time when you are re-inputting the data. That's what a query you are written. That is our expectation also. When it is loading the data, I don't want to load these 2 columns into my Power BI. So that is the reason I saved the transformation. Close and apply means that query will save the transformations whatever you are applying.
Okay. So again, no need of writing a query for that.
If you are writing one time and saving that, always it will execute the same query with the transformations. Every time no need. That's what automation we are doing.
If you have imported data using direct query, no need of using refresh, right?
Yes, no need of refresh. Exactly.
When I click on refresh, before refresh it was showing like 29 million total sales. After refresh, let me say there are added few more sales. So that it is going to impact on visualization. Does it directly automatically shows impact over there?
Definitely, whatever the data you loaded, that definitely impacting on the visualization. Whatever the data you loaded, your visualizations will display that data.
If we are connected live data importing, so visualization is also continuously changing, or
Yes, continuously changing. Whenever the changes happen in your data source, your visualization also will change in the data. It will identify automatically whether there is data changes in my source. If yes, then visualization will get the updated data. But in import mode, you have to perform that importing. Of course, we are going to schedule daily in a particular time. The refresh will happen as per that schedule. That we will discuss later. How to schedule. Any other questions from anyone, please? So the people who have joined class today newly, can you guys ping me on the WhatsApp? I will give you the WhatsApp group. If you want to continue, you can join that group. Then you will get the communication.